I am within 50 miles of crossing into Oregon and leaving California after almost 4 months on the trail. It's really hard to describe how I feel, my state of mind, and my physical condition. I'm gonna try to. I'm pretty tired.
The two most common questions I got asked when people found out I was through hiking the Pacific Crest Trail were, why? And are you bringing a gun? Here I was attempting to hike 2,650 miles before winter's snow would prevent me from reaching Canada. It is said that more people have summited Everest than have thru-hiked the PCT. I didn't know exactly why I was doing this. I just knew I needed to. "13 years after graduating from film school, I had fallen into the trap I had told myself I would avoid. As a professional stagehand, I was working to help realize other artists' visions instead of making my own movies. I felt as though I had traded my dreams for the security of work in order to pay the bills. Even though I loved the energy of creating live shows, I think I was trying to convince myself that I was content when really I felt as though I was dying inside. My girlfriend Carrie supported my desire to change careers. After 4 years of a long-distance relationship, my ambivalence about marriage was taking its toll and threatening to end it. She loved me unconditionally, yet I was unable to commit, and I didn't know why. I was lost, and I desperately needed to reconnect to the wilderness. So on Cinco de Mayo 2010, I set out in the hope that I would find myself somewhere between the desert of Southern California, where I grew up, and Canada, where I was born. My departure into the desert was surreal. Far from paradise, I felt very exposed and was immediately forced to confront the challenges.
I wasn't expecting to have to spend so much time and attention actually looking down at the trail to make sure that I don't step on them. And the fact that they're under the bushes that are right where your feet have to go means that you have no choice but to push on through. Walking through the trail, you just learn to accept it. And God knows how many there actually were that I never saw or heard along the way.
The trail forced me to prioritize my needs, and time started to slow down. Every step I took was like a walking meditation. I began to identify with the smallest creatures I crossed paths with. They too were just trying to find their way and survive. I felt like my ego was starting to lose its grip and humility was slowly bringing me back to something real.
This morning, when I looked at it, I could finally feel a hump on my shin. My muscle was bulging, and I basically had to make the decision to come off trail. Something like this is demoralizing because when you depend on your physical body, especially your feet and your legs, to actually move you, carrying, 45 pounds of gear 20 miles a day, something like this can jeopardize my entire trip.
I first heard about the Pacific Crest Trail when I was in Boy Scouts. Our troop was hiking a section of the PCT in the Sierras, and we were learning how to survive in a shared experience. Back then, I still felt very connected to my two brothers. That feeling ended for me when they joined the military. As the only civilian, I felt like I was no longer part of the brotherhood. My father was a flight surgeon in the Royal Navy, and his recollections of that experience were shared with both pride and encouragement to follow suit. I seriously considered joining the military, but my conscience wouldn't let me. That decision meant I would never share the bond my brothers now have with each other. And while I supported them to do whatever it took to come home alive, I didn't support the wars they were sent to fight in. My path was different than theirs, but I wasn't fully accepting it as my own.
It's June 21st, summer solstice. I ache all over again. I've got the heaviest pack I've ever had. I'm a little bit concerned. So far my leg feels okay, but it was hard. Only 12 miles and just brutal, like really heavy, brutal. Oh my God, this is gonna be tough.
When I was about 15 years old, my dad took me on a fathers and sons trip in northern Canada. At one point, he took me aside and asked, "Tristan, what is it you excel at?" All I could think of to say was being able to survive in the wild. At a time when I was looking for my identity, his question made me feel inadequate, like I wasn't living up to his expectations. That feeling has never left me.
Up there is Mount Whitney. So tomorrow morning, there's approximately a 17-mile round trip to the summit and back.
Here I was at the doorstep of the tallest mountain in the contiguous United States, just a small detour from the PCT, and a lucky chance to summit it on my 37th birthday.
I can feel that the air is getting thinner. I'm around 12,000 feet with about 2,000 left. Got a bunch of clouds coming in. And I'm hoping they pass right on by. If there's a thunderstorm, then I'm in a shitty situation.
Apparently in 1990, hiker died in here in a lightning storm.
What's in there?
History.
Really?
I was definitely feeling as though I was reconnecting to, for lack of a better word, my source. The further I hiked, the more the noise from society that was polluting my head was being replaced by a calming awareness. I was starting to feel like I was living my truth.
Nothing but victory for us. Victory! There's just so much potential danger, and you overcome it. I have seriously, this words cannot describe how good I feel. I'm doubly stoked that I did this on my birthday. I was hoping that would happen, and you know, when you're connected, it happens.
I was overcome by an enormous sense of gratitude for the people in my life, especially Carrie. Despite her fears about what my chosen path would mean for us as a couple, she respected my need to do this and supported me from the very beginning.
I'm at the very base of Forester Pass. That narrow chute up there is it. At times like this, it's the satisfaction of being able to say, I came from as far as you can possibly see on foot. Not just from that mountain, but from the other one, all the way to the Mexican border. On top of Forester Pass, 13,200 feet, highest point on the PCT. And we have stoically conquered it. And it's only 9:30 in the morning.
Carrying all my extra gear and food up and over each mountain pass was excruciating. My heart was pounding in my ears. My lungs couldn't get enough oxygen and felt like they were going to burst. The hardest part was forcing my body to keep moving forward when all it wanted to do was stop. Crossing the rivers and hiking through the snow melt meant that my feet were always wet. My skin started peeling away, but it wasn't just my body that was being worn down.
I haven't been enjoying myself very much. This has probably been the toughest part of the trip, psychologically, emotionally, and physically. The snow is just the snow has just sapped all my energy every day, day in and day out. If I'm not post-holing, then it's steep and I'm having to find my way, so you have to travel over miles of sun cups, the passes over 12,000 feet, and then you go down to below 10,000 feet, and the next day you have another pass. Today, I think, was my 5th pass in the last 6 days. And when you're physically exhausted and you're wet and you're tired and you're just emotionally drained, it's the biggest challenge to look at the positives and stay upbeat about it. At least when every bone in your body aches and your muscles are sore and you don't feel like you can go any further, but you make yourself go on, it's when you really know you're alive.
When I was 21, I was watching a sunset with my dad, and I remember him saying how he finally understood what it meant to watch from the waning side. I didn't understand what he meant at the time. But 6 months later, he died of a heart attack.
I don't want to make any predictions, but I feel like the worst is over. And if there was ever a time where maybe it's all downhill from here,
I had held on to my dad's ashes, waiting until my brothers had gotten out of the military to scatter them together. But by the time they got out, they had already let go of him in their own way.
fuck!
For over 20 years, I had moved and stored over 50 file boxes of photographs, letters, and personal belongings of my dad's. I felt like I was the only one who cared about their existence, let alone his memory. The weight of my pack and the difficulty of the Sierras made me wonder if what I was holding on to was the need for his acceptance.
Hey, sexy. So, first things first, before you say it, I know I already look like Woody from Toy Story with this hat that I got at the thrift store in South Lake Tahoe. So, I got this hat, which I'm digging. Eventually, it's going to go down like this, but right now it's like this. And I got my hair cut. Left the beard alone, but just trimmed around the mouth. And I got this cool shirt. REI, brand new, $3. I think this was $2. And Hurley board shorts. So I still got your socks and my shoes, and the sun's just about to go down right now at Aloha Lake.
When I was 17, my older brother and I went on a boys' trip here in the Sierra Mountains. During a campfire, he asked me to describe my ideal woman. As soon as I tried to answer him, I realized that in trying to choose just one person, I would always wonder if I had made the right choice. My parents divorced when I was 10. I spent as much of my childhood as possible outside and with animals to get away from the reality at home. Some may say it was escapism, but I think it was self-preservation.
Can't believe I'm still in California. God. I have to force myself to remain in the present moment, because otherwise I'll just end up going crazy if I think about how much further I have to go. I've now hiked 35 miles today. It's a record for me on the trail. Basically started hiking at 6:30 a.m. It's about 8:15 right now. I was practically crawling into camp. Got to make some dinner. My feet really, really hurt. 35 miles.
so proud of you. I can't believe you walked all of California. That's awesome. I will be celebrating with a glass of wine tonight on your behalf. And I hope that you are enjoying yourself in good company and that you're proud of yourself as well. Mwah. So happy and so proud of you.
There's something about these ridgetop hikes. There's a power to the silence and the sound of the wind blowing. And I'm completely encapsulated by nothing but beauty and peace. It just feels incredibly powerful. It's like it's energizing and it's calming.
I'm in Ashland, Oregon, trying to use the phone and dealing with traffic. Can any of our towns be centered around foot traffic and nice peace and quiet? Is that possible? ID check.
Hi. I'm really hoping I have a package. General delivery mails from San Diego on Monday, priority.
Is it a box or?
Yeah.
Let me go see what I can find.
Thank you.
I was feeling the pressure to get back on the trail and keep moving, but I desperately needed the resupply box Carrie had mailed me with my new shoes.
All right, so I'm getting 2 packages ready for Tristan. I've got the rest of the maps printing, dry fat milk, ramen, and pastaroni, the different tuna packets, socks, shoes, 6 scoops of protein powder, dried fruit, package of cashews, Parmesan, and also some textured vegetable protein, TVP.
I could see the guy looking for it in the back, and he's not finding it. And it's like, damn, the drama! Yes! All right, it arrived. My resupply package arrived. I'm good to go. Whew.
Oh man. Hi, Mom. It's me calling you from the rim of Crater Lake, and you're the second person who I've called, and it's gone to voicemail. Anyways, I'm gonna hike along the rim. I'll try again later if I get reception. Just wanted to tell you I love you. Bye. Last time I was here was in 1997. I was over on that side that time.
I'd been having frequent nightmares about my brothers being killed or injured. I wore their dog tags, boots, and hats in solidarity, but I felt guilty and wanted to be there, as if I could help keep them safe. I received a call one night from my mom, who told me my younger brother had been hospitalized due to an injury sustained in combat. U.S. foreign policy was now affecting me personally, and I was growing bitter.
Four months ago to the day, I left for this quest, adventure, challenge, epic journey, and gruesome trial from hell. 1,900 miles. I have roughly 750 left. Constantly keep going regardless of weather, how you feel, the climbs, the ascents, the constant brown trail of duff and rocks and trees. And I have been here a gazillion times before. It's almost like you've seen one trail junction in the middle of a thick forest, you've seen them all.
By definition, a through hike is whatever it takes to hike the trail in one season. You have to push through the challenges. I had wondered if doing this would earn the respect of my brothers.
I wonder how long I'll be doing this after I shave and notice that it's not there anymore.
This rain is absolutely miserable. It's just so hard to keep everything dry. Pack gets wet, clothes get wet, everything's heavier. I basically do nothing but walk, stop to piss, try and eat some snacks as fast as possible before I start shivering again, and get to camp, set up my tent and get inside of it, cook dinner and go to sleep.
Carrie told me there would be days when I would have to hike in the rain, and of course she was right. I couldn't help but wonder if this is what I would have to look forward to if we were married.
I'm really ticked off. I'm losing body heat all day. Really cold. I'm tired. I just need a warm, dry place.
Hypothermia can kill you, so I had to shed my wet clothes in order to live. It was a raw reminder of my own mortality. It also made me realize Carrie was accepting me as I was, whereas my dad expected me to be someone else.
It's October 11th, about 9 a.m. in the morning. The trail's really wet and icy, and it's been dusted with snow, so it gets to be a little bit precarious. Ugh.
I remember my dad once quoting Clint Eastwood. "A man's got to know his limitations."
I had less than 15 feet visibility last night. Blizzard came in. There's no cairns, no protection from the wind. You could easily get lost and freeze to death. And made a choice to go back down to tree line to camp for the night, and I'm really glad I did.
The more I pushed through the challenges, the more I began to feel confident and grounded inside.
I've come upon a moose heading in my direction. We're both sharing the trail. And I'm trying to move over so he can go by.
I'd been told that moose were dangerous, but I didn't feel any fear when I looked at him. I never considered bringing a gun on my hike. I had enough baggage already. It was the moose who turned around, and with him went any lingering doubts as to whose path I was hiking.
It is October 13th, 10:29 a.m. And I am at the Canadian border. And it feels really weird.
The thing about reaching the end of the trail was that it just simply ended in the middle of a forest at a desolate border. I had been seeking acceptance when really the validation I thought I needed was never going to come from my father or brothers or society. It had to come from inside of myself. It just took me a really long time to get there.
I love you. I'm so sorry I stink. I'm really sorry.